Hello, welcome back to Blow Up the Team. I'm one of your hosts, Matt, and Jeremy is here with me. Say hello.
Hi.
Today is a glorious day. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We finally are recording. I'm no longer in Toronto. By the way, I've discovered what I've been doing wrong whenever I buy hats. Like, I need a size 8 regardless, but flat build caps, fuck those.
What do you
The,
mean? Flat bill caps are where it's at. Fuck you. I will go
listen,
to war on that. I
I
will go to
have
war on
two
that.
flat billed Yankees hats, and I love them. I love them to death. Like I got the fucking Memorial Day Yankees hat. I love that shit. But I like it. Like it. I can't wear it if I'm like fucking got a headache. I can't wear it if I got like if I'm trying to like focus on something because it's like tight on my head, despite being an 8, which is the biggest size they sell
I will go to
that I'm
war on the
aware of.
fact that flat build
But
and the flat build hats are better. I will go to war for that.
you're gonna have to because I've been wearing this fucking because when I was Toronto. I went to Rogers Center, got myself a Blue Jays hat so I could fit in with the fellow depressed Blue Jays fans, and up there, and got a nice little low profile trim hat, and oh my god, it was so comfortable. It still is so comfortable. I still wear it now, despite not being there. But regardless, I got to watch the Blue Jays put up an 8-3 lead. Aaron Sanchez had like his best start of the year up until his most recent start, which I guess we can mention was a no hitter, like a combined no hitter for his debut with the Astros. Fuck the Astros. Um,
Yeah,
okay,
I
not
got to
actually fuck
watch
the
the
Astros, but Jesus Christ.
I got to watch the second half of the doubleheader on Saturday, 2 days ago.
Yes, you got to go. You've been to one more Yankee game than I have. The first game I go to this year is a Blue Jays. My family always goes together to Yankee games like once a year, guaranteed, because we want to get good seats. And with the new stadium, the good seats are more expensive.
Bro, it was a hundred
Way more.
dollars to sit in the first tier for a Red Sox game, Yankees Red Sox.
Jesus.
Because it was so close to when the game was starting, the ticket prices plummet because nobody wants them. There was nothing special going on other than the fact that it was Yankees Red Sox, and so my dad found them. He's like, "Oh, let's go to that."
I'm like debating between the Baltimore series and when the Indians come to town and they do the ring day, which I just learned a friend of mine from college is going to. So might have like a but missing uh, work kind of sucks. But anyway, I gotta watch Aaron Sanchez strike out 10, and then watch the Blue Jays bullpen, which was one of the better ones until they traded it all away, blow it. Let's see, trade deadline. Just to start off, trade deadline was dog shit, boring for the Yankees. Cashman, the asking price that Cashman was getting was ridiculous. The Diamondbacks, who were considered like the main trade partner with the Yankees, they wanted Clint Frazier plus three other top prospects from the Yankees, unnamed, but it can only be assumed they wanted Davy Garcia. And the Yankees aren't going to waste their entire like uh, farm
Farm system.
system for a guy who's pitching. He's not that he's having a bad year by any means. He's still good, but the fact is he's not. He's got like almost like a just under 4 ERA, having a decent year. But you're not going to trade 4 prospects for a guy like that. It would make no sense for him to. Marcus Stroman, the one that the Yankees were like the only one that had a chance on. The Mets made a shit offer, and the Blue Jays took it. The Blue Jays didn't even wait to the deadline. They got an offer of a top 30 prospect from the 2 top 30 prospects. Yep, and neither like only one of them was in the top 100, which was way below the value.
What do you think of Astros getting Zach Greinke?
This trade, so according to insiders, even if the Yankees made an offer, Greinke had the Yankees on his 15-team no trade clause, which he was not going to renege for the Yankees. Apparently, it was a really fucking good deal. It's a very much an all-in deal from the Astros, because the Astros had a very strong farm system, still do, but they traded their number 2, 3, 4, or no, they're 3, 4, and 5 prospects, which I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 of them are top 100. If I'm going off the top of my head here, but it was like a ridiculously like good trade on both sides. Arizona's trying to rebuild because they're below 500. They're like an average team on their best days. Greinke was the ace, and the Astros weren't on his no trade clause for some reason. So he actually made his debut yesterday. Let me just go quickly look that up. But
Some side
it's
news. I don't know if you've seen this. It was released an hour ago. Torres sent to the hospital for core injury.
they let him stay in the game till the 7th. Oh my god!
And that
It just
that's after Aaron Hicks got hurt the night before, broke his wrist or something. No, that was Encarnacion broke his wrist. He did something though. I know he's out. Yeah, flexor strain. So.
Aaron Hicks, you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. Aaron Hicks it's just going to be a week. It's more of a like, let's make sure we don't fucking blow out your elbow here. But the worst thing I could have been is uh, it wasn't as terrible as I'm sorry, I'm just like trying to see Greinke. I have my phone downstairs, so I can't just fucking whatever. Yeah, so he should be back within a week. Thank God. Not gonna have to worry about.
Urshela also hurt his foot in the game.
Urshela's fine. Urshela just had a bad time. He started off he fouled a pitch off one knee, and then fouled it off the other shin. And just he was roughed up, but he stayed in it for the rest of the game. He was fine. Thank God. It's gonna be interesting.
After the scare tonight,
As long
Gleyber
as
Torres is leaving the hospital and everything is fine. The bus waits for him and then it goes straight to Baltimore. So it doesn't seem like it's long-term concerning, but he was in the hospital.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense, because that, like, you scared me there, because it didn't make sense why Steve Donahue wasn't down in the tunnel with him for longer, because he came right back out of the tunnel and, was just watching the game, because, I mean, that was a good sign. So, that's, he probably won't be in the lineup tomorrow. I'll probably give him a day off. But, the injuries keep coming. I mean, they had to keep DJ LeMahieu out of the lineup for 4 days, who still does not stop just hitting. I mean, DJ LeMahieu, even thank God, like those 4 games he was out, we still fucking won. Or wait, I think we lost only one. Not that it was like entirely on DJ LeMahieu not being in the lineup, but regardless.
I was talking to my dad about the season that he's been having, and like he doesn't put up the flashy numbers of like the big name guys, but arguably the Yankees would be nowhere close to where they are without him.
No, but because that was the problem all last year for the Yankees. They didn't have guys who could just find gaps, because the way Sanchez swings, the way Judge swings, the way Stanton swings, they're not swinging for poking holes. They're swinging to put up giant numbers. And that's the thing. Like DJ LeMahieu's having a fantastic season. He's going to get entirely overshadowed in MVP voting from Trout having another Trout season. And don't get me wrong, Trout is a magnificent player, like easily the best player in the majors. But like Jesus Christ, the amount of like obsession the MLB has over him. Not that he does, not that it's unearned. The guy has taken over the MLB lead for home runs, hitting just under 300, which is like still really good, and having constant defensive highlights. Like the fact is, if Trout wasn't having the year he was, a usual Troutian year, so to speak, heading for his 3rd or 4th MVP. DJ LeMahieu, I think, is going to be easily top 3 MVP, because he's putting up really high RBI numbers. He's hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position. And people are like, oh, he can't maintain it. He can't maintain it. We talked about it. We said even if he drops, it's still really good, because he's still hitting well over 300. He leads the batting title by like 13 points right now.
Trout does?
No. LeMahieu.
Yeah, that's what I was confused for a second. You lost me. I didn't see the transition back to LeMahieu.
Oh, whoops. But But yeah, back to Greinke real fast. There's like a lot of bad takes, but the fact is, the Yankees couldn't have traded for Greinke regardless because he was on the 15 team, no trade clause. He was not going to fucking go to the Yankees. Apparently, according to Ken Rosenthal, I think it was, and definitely I heard it from oh god, my Mark Feinsand. So the Yankees didn't really get anywhere. The Mets made the most bizarre trade. They traded for Marcus Stroman, and they're still because they were in the middle of a winning streak, and then they fucking.
The Mets won 13-2 today though against the Pirates.
Yeah, it's the Pirates. I think have won 4 or 5 games since the All-Star break. Their season is in the dumpster once again.
Isn't the Pirate season always in the dumpster fire?
Like some of these headlines, like Zach Greinke makes Astros World Series favorites. They've been World Series favorites for the entire year.
Yeah, that's the one
Their
thing.
team is.
Looking forward, the Mets. Okay, let's talk about the Mets. All we do is talk about the Yankees. Talk about the Mets for a second.
We talk about the important teams.
Okay, that's a little harsh.
Not a fake franchise.
That's a bit harsh, bud. Relax.
No. This trade is the dumbest fucking trade that they could have possibly made.
They're 3 games out of the wild card.
They had a year of mediocrity last year, finishing below 500. Their season thus far has been nothing but a mixed bag of occasional hot streaks and the lowest of low hot pile of dog shit. It's like, there was a great line on Twitter I saw. It was like the rotation of Wheeler, Thor, DeGrom, and Stroman will be a real presence at whatever fundraiser they're gonna do for come October. Because the fact is, it doesn't make sense for the Mets. The Mets have one of the worst farm systems in baseball. They went all in on this year for some stupid reason, and it hasn't paid out. They did it. Their problem isn't their starting pitching. It's never been their starting pitching. It could have been better than it has been. Like DeGrom had like a really rough skid for a while. And Syndergaard's been inconsistent, but still really solid when he's on. Like everyone's really solid when they're on. Their biggest problem is their bullpen, and they didn't do a single trade for their bullpen.
The bullpen seems to be waking up though. They seem to be doing a little bit better than they had.
Seth Lugo is having a really good season, and Edwin Diaz is doing better than he was doing. But like the fact is, the Mets can't figure out if they're trying to compete or if they're trying to like just continue to be mediocre. The fact is, they're just treading water. That's a really good way to put it, because they didn't solve their most glaring problems, and it's gonna stare them in the face. I mean, yeah, they're 3 games out of the wild card, but I mean, the Red Sox were 3 games out of a game out of the wild card before the Yankees showed them the fucking brooms and swept their asses out of the Bronx today. Okay, wait. Zach Greinke has not made it a start yet for the Astros. Okay, all right. Thank you. Baseball Reference. I don't know why I just keep looking for articles. I didn't realize his salary was $31 million.
Zach Greinke is that boy, bro.
Zach Greinke is. Oh, he's having a career, like another career year at 35. Like the guy's very good. I think give it a couple more years, he'll reach the 3,000 strikeout club because he still has 1 year left, I think, of control. Maybe I'm not sure, but
it was actually, in terms of like New York sports, pretty quiet free agency.
No.
Especially considering they were the Yankees were supposed to make, so I'm going to trade for Bumgarner.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that happened is San Francisco. Everyone at the beginning of the year was like a sure shot. San Fran's going to suck, and Bumgarner, because it's Bruce Bochy's last year, it's going to suck for him that he's going to have to leave that he's retiring in a year like this. But the fact is, they're going to trade Bumgarner. I said it too. They're going to look at Bumgarner, and then the Giants made this run, and now they're actually in the running for a wild card spot. And they got Jed Jerko, and they got Scooter Gennett. And they still have their best relief pitcher, Will Smith. They still have what's his face. They have got Bumgarner still, because the fact is Bumgarner's been pitching better than he was, and the Giants are getting competitive again. And so out of nowhere, their season's having a turnaround. And so suddenly Bumgarner's off the table. And the Astros definitely stole the show with the Greinke. And Twitter was like beyond confused. Everyone was beyond confused when the Mets made a trade for Stroman, but Twitter blew up over Greinke because that's like the Astros have Garrett Cole, Zach Greinke, and Justin Verlander as their top three.
Let's
It's a
talk about.
terrifying top three to face.
We have to make a note. The real Twitter blow up about baseball. Where is it? I know I'll find it on Twitter. Oh, here it is. Look at this. So they see him on the thing. It's Baker Mayfield, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And look at, he just savage, just completely bites open.
Bites it open and shotguns the beer. Like,
that's such a Chad move, honestly.
That's what I knew I saw it. Go back to it real fast. The Colin Coward snub. Right. Just not a good look. Go watch some film. The dude is embracing his fucking city. Yo, get fucking hyped. This guy's a hype man. Baker Mayfield just told everyone, "I'm a fucking I am your god" right there. And that's basically
okay.
What he did.
Let's just think about how much that would hurt your teeth if you tried to bite open a bottle, not a bottle, a can.
There's 1 year. So there's last year when the Red Sox won on my campus. They after they won, they all charged into the upper courtyards, sat there, chanted "Yankees suck," some other dumb shit, and then this one kid grabbed a beer can and smashed it against his head, and then shotgunned it, and came back with blood running down all over it, ruined his jersey. Very smart people go to my school.
Well, that's what happens when you go to a no-name school.
Okay, listen.
Boom roasted, bitch. You're gonna do
better.
Yeah,
boom roasted. Primary debates. Who cares? All right. Moving on from your ignorance.
Boy, you went square, but what's good? Come on now.
Listen. We don't have time to talk about schools.
Obviously, there's so much going on in baseball. You know, you got to get in that. Get in that motherfucking work. You know what I'm saying?
And so another thing I was talking about, the Blue Jays, they were expected to be sellers. They traded 7 players away. They traded Joe Biagini, Daniel Hudson, Aaron Sanchez going away was the most surprising thing because he was having a terrible season up until his last 2 starts where he started to look like himself again. And apparently that was enough for the Astros. Like, yes, we can bring him in and get his spin rate super high, and we're going to be great. And throw a combined no-hitter.
Yeah, four-person combined no-hitter, first start. I'd say that's a success.
Second combined no-hitter and a first start of the team since the Angels did it a couple, I think in the 90s.
Yeah, I think I saw 95 or 96, something like that.
Yeah, and so, and then also the Rays made moves. The Rays got Jesus Aguilar, which I thought was the most bizarre thing.
That's a big move, though.
No, it was a big move because they were looking for a power bat to add on to their team. And that definitely gives them that.
That's the first baseman from Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, and I was surprised about that because he's a staple in Milwaukee.
He had a bust-out year last year.
Oh yeah, he had a great year last year. I'm not sure about what his stats were, but he's still having a decent year, I thought. But I was very surprised to see him go. Jake Faria was traded from the Rays, and the Rays trade I think in total I think 9 players I saw play in the Sunday game I watched were traded by Wednesday, which is just really bizarre to think about. And Eric Sogard was traded to the Rays. Because when we got there to the Rogers Center, the screens had pictures of Sogard. It had a video of Sogard as the game was about to start, hugging his teammates and walking into the tunnel because it wasn't in the lineup. Then it's announced as the game starts, Eric Sogard heading to the Rays, walking across the clubhouse to the other clubhouse, to the visiting clubhouse.
That's pretty funny, actually.
It's gotta be like so weird to get traded, but you're not moving just yet. You got a game to
Mid-game.
sit through. You gotta getting traded to the team you're
What would have
playing.
been joked if they started if the Rays just started him right away.
That would have been brutal. To go play against them.
Yeah, they would
Show
have
them
been
no
like,
mercy.
they traded you. Please just light them the fuck up right now, please. Well, you will
Also,
start you.
also, when I at Rogers Center, I was never really impressed by it. Looking at it on like in games, like on TV, it's like actually a really nice stadium. They have like really great concession stands. Everything's like really nice in there. They did behind the everything and all that. It's actually a really nice place to hang out. Oh yeah, it was also the Junior Jays game. They had this kid come out and do like the announce everyone like who came at the bat in like the third or fourth inning, and the Jays like almost batted around the around the lineup.
The kid was at a
And
blast.
oh, that kid had the experience of a lifetime. And yeah, he didn't do too bad a job. It was pretty fun. And it was like Ace's birthday. Ace is their mascot. That was the theme. It was Ace's birthday party, and they had like a bunch of other Toronto like mascots, and they had the Rays mascot there, which made sense. And then they had like the fucking Texas Rangers mascot there, which first of all I didn't know the Texas Rangers had a mascot. Second of all, why is he there? But like, cool, Ace's
Don't worry
birthday
about
party.
it. They wanted him there, so he's there. Maybe they're
That
just
that
boys, bro. You don't know.
they should have sent him in an Odor jersey. Never mind. But I will say that the hockey horn that they have for home runs, gotta say I'm a big fan of it. I think I think I enjoy it more than the air raid siren. But at the same time, I don't think I've ever heard anything but the air raid siren for many years. I don't think Yankees should change what they do with their sound because you know that da, 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 like that
Can we
whole
just
deal.
talk about Aaron Judge's
Kind of
walk-up
used to
song
it.
for a second?
Oh God.
Money in the
I,
Grave. That song goes hard. I'm not gonna play it because copyrights be real out here, but the song goes hard.
listen, like great song, I'm sure. Hella, like just wasteful.
Uh,
You know,
Do we need to pull up the
what?
lyrics of this song right now?
No.
Because I will do it.
Putting money in a grave is not the
All right.
best way to use your money. No, get this shit off my screen. Get this shit off my screen. Get this shit. Anyway, so in more recent news, the Yankees have been on a tear.
But yeah,
And the Red
woohoo, no one
Sox,
cares. Shut the fuck up. What? I didn't
the
say that.
Red Sox have been skidding to say the least. If you want to take a look at that, they just 4-game sweep of the Red Sox. Red Sox got us last week, took 3 out of 4, but they didn't get the sweep. But the Yankees showed up in the series and said, "We need a place to put our massive fucking cocks. I hope you don't mind," and just like smacked it on the table. Like now,
You're
that would
such a super fan. It's so funny to me. I'm sorry. Continue.
listen. Anyway, moving on, and it was great. It was really awesome to watch the Red Sox do what they did. The children of Boston will go hungry for another day. Oh yeah, that joke. In case anyone doesn't spend any time on Boston Twitter, there's a restaurant in Boston, and I guess it's a chain in the Northeast, like 99 restaurant or something. They do a special that kids eat free after every Boston win, and so the joke is the children are starving, which is kind
Considering
of
they've
messed up
lost
if you
8 in a
think
row.
about it. Yeah, they lost 8 in a row, and go check their wild card. I think they're down to 6.5 games out.
Yep.
Yeah, so they've been doing a nosedive all of a sudden in the wild card, and a lot of heats on Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski came out and said after the Yankees, he was smart. He waited until the Yankees were blown out by the Red Sox 19-5 to tell like, oh yeah, I'm pretty happy with the team that we have. But the fact is, their bullpen's still leaky as hell. Albeit the bullpen had a good showing this whole series, which was surprising. Now it's their starters that are having problems.
Chris
And
Sale,
then
Do you know what Chris Sale's record is offhand?
4-10 or 4-11.
I think it's worse, bud. How do I check this? I don't know. I'm not a Chris
Oh,
Sale.
5-11.
Yeah.
But then a nice little balloon ERA. His ERA is the same as James Paxton's. And
5.74. Oh no, 4.60. I was gonna say.
yeah, so he's been having a miserable year, to say the least. Yeah, their team leader in ERA is a 4.19. Like,
Starting pitcher wise, yeah.
well, you can see it up on top of the team leaders on top,
Well, yeah.
like right above
I
the
was
list.
just genuinely curious if that counted relief pitchers or not, and it doesn't.
I don't know. And it's bit like I mean, the Red Sox made like even less moves. The Yankees at least made a prospect swap, another one with the Rockies. Which, by the way, Yankees Twitter has been like so much more entertaining. Like last year, I really don't remember them doing anything that funny. But then when the Colorado Rockies came in during the whole series, whenever a former Rocky did anything, it said New York, like it was like New York Yankee, DJ LeMahieu, New York Yankee. Uh, Adam Ottavino strikes out the side. New York Yankee, Mike Tauchman. Mike Tauchman, by the way, who learned just out of nowhere how to hit pretty well. And he's been really clutch for the Yankees. I think he had 4 RBIs these last 2 games, plus more earlier, I'm sure. And an interesting stat that I learned is defensive runs saved. He's in the top 20 outfielders with part-time playing. So, and I love that tweet. Savage over damage.
Start spreading the
But
news.
to say you to quote you on God,
Oh
on
God.
God, it's entirely because during the World Series parade, the reason why they're having this terrible year, they during the World Series parade they dented the World Series trophy after a fan threw a beer at it, and Alex Cora for some reason. So like one of the earliest takes of the season was before the season even started, the Red Sox will not win back to back. Literally, like the whole reason was you can't dent the World Series trophy and then expect to win the World Series again, which I thought was kind of funny.
They disrespected the baseball gods, is what happened.
Yeah. The baseball god said, "Fuck you." Oh,
All right, translate this Didi quote.
Diddy code, blow it up for me. The target is Hap. Hap, though he struggled at the end there, still looked much better than he looked. What the?
How many games back are the Red Sox?
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Uh, Judge with the solo home run. 2 RBIs. What? Oh God. Oh, the Sox is for Talkman. I can't. The broccoli is Chad Green. The Mexican flag is Luis Cessa. Fire bullpen. I'm trying to see who's Gio. Okay, so that's got to be Gio Urshela then with the flag because he had the 2-run homer. That's the only one I could think of. Who else had RBIs? One of them is Mike. Oh, the car is Mike Ford because Mike Ford, haha, car. And then the other one is oh God, who else got the RBI? It was it Hashioka? Maybe it might have been. I'm not 100% sure on the one next to the car to the left. But regardless, gotta love a good DD tweet. And what's interesting is like just how he chooses some of them. Like some of them are really obvious. Like fucking, they use the Santa Claus emoji for CC. Who else had the RBI? Oh, Cameron Maben. Okay, that makes sense. Cameron Maven. I can't see it that well from here because they did start using that emoji for Maven. Okay, all right. And it's like shit like this that made Didi my favorite player on that team. Always a lot of fun.
You also just appreciate the fact that he plays hard.
Oh yeah, he plays hard. He's got ridiculously good defense. He is, a very talented shortstop, and I fucking love.
It's kind of upsetting for him, whose shoes he has to fill. Because it has,
No, yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, Cut Four a couple years ago posted like a picture that got like roasted. It was like a picture. It was like Derek Jeter and then a picture of the upgrade button meme, and it was Didi Gregorius.
Oh God, if we had been doing that podcast back in those days, I would have killed them.
But he's like the only Yankees shortstop to have to record like 2 4-hit RBI, 7 RBIs in a game. He's done a lot, and in his first season, he already like in his first or second season with the Yankees, he like made the record for home runs. Not that Jeter was a home run hitter in his career. Man, just I'm gonna get a hit every fucking time I walk up, and there's nothing you can do about
Slap shot to right field. Repeat.
it.
I would be interested to
3,400
know.
hits in his career.
I would be interested to know. He has like how many 3,000 and how many hits?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know how many of the what percentage of those hits were just a slap shot to right field.
I am sure.
It's probably over half. It has to be over half.
I'm sure if you add, okay, this fucking GIF, it's like giving me like Algida seeing like Goofy with the fucking one broken ass finger. So we could just like.
There's actually audio that you can't hear, and it says 14 and a half.
Does it actually?
I swear to God, it says 14 and a half.
I wish I could hear it now. Oh, that would have been so great.
Here, I'll link it to you so you can hear it. How do you do that? I'm not a Twitter user. For anyone who's cringing right now as I try to figure out
Don't worry about it. I can just look at the tweet.
Alright, good. I'm sorry, I'm not a Twitter user.
I had a small Twitter takeover. Like, then for whatever reason, Twitter kept tweeting things on my main account, my private account, not my, not this. Oh, this shit. Barstool Hubs. Him and fucking Jared Carabas. Carabas, don't let the Red Sox get hot. Don't let them get hot. They'll destroy. They don't want to face this team in the postseason. It's like, yeah, well, we don't have to worry about it because this rate, they're not making it. They're 6.5 games back just to make in the postseason. If you want to scroll down, keep scrolling. Mostly been retweets lately.
Chris Sale is a bum. I'm at the Red Sox funeral with my pal. It's a great time.
Jared Carabas is the Barstool Sports writer for the Red Sox. TJ Mayhew being an absolute monster. That's after missing 4 games. He has a 2-homer game. He missed 4 games and said, I need to make up for lost time. This was nuts. Vince Velasquez of the Phillies came in to play left field because they had the left fielder come in the pitch. He makes this fucking bullet of a throw, right, and cuts down and then he also had a sliding catch. He almost threw out what ended up being the winning run. It was literally by a split second that JT Realmuto missed the tag. And if you keep scrolling, this is about Thurman Munson because it's 40-year anniversary. That's just more Chris Sale getting beaten up. Chris Sale, I understand he was pissed off about the one call. Gio Urshela should not have gotten a ball call and a strike down the middle. That was bullshit. Don't get me wrong. The fact is, you need to get in the box and just fucking throw a strike. And if you can't, this man just has lost all his mental game. It's like you can't get past the idea that one bad call was made. You need to get over it and make another pitch. And it's he can't get himself to do anything out of the stretch.
Let's just look at Tommy
Tommy
Canley.
Tommy Canley has had a resurgence. Like literally last year, like the reason why he couldn't pitch well last year is the fact that he was coming off of being on the IL for an extended period of time, and his velocity dropped. The man throws a 91 to 93 mile an hour changeup. That thing's disgusting. And he basically throws a fastball and a changeup, and that's all he needs. He's back to 2017 form, and it's been crazy. By the way, Chad Green, I saw a statistic, like in his last 20-something games, like 4 or 5 walks and like over 42 strikeouts. It was 4 walks, 42 strikeouts, which is like nuts for them.
You want to know what really has got to be a disgusting pitch to pitch against or to hit against? Aroldis Chapman, 103 mile an hour fastball, 87 mile an hour curveball. That's not fair.
No, that's his slider. His slider is fucking because the way Chapman throws the ball from such a high arm angle, the way it cuts down, it's almost like a slurve the way it cuts down because it comes from such a high angle that the way it cuts through the zone. Oh my god, that thing will take your fucking head off too.
Yeah, but that thing, bro, is 15 miles an hour slower than what his fastball is. So if you're thinking fastball, you're going to be taking a nap while you're waiting for that ball to come across the plate.
Oh yes, there's a lot. Nick Castellanos, and he thought he'd never get traded. Got traded to my other favorite team, the Cubs. Oh, this was funny. Rick Porcello punched out the TVs in the Fenway. Just keep scrolling. I don't know how much further we have to go.
What are you looking for?
Just keep scrolling. The tweets about the Jets when Mark Sanchez retired. I tweeted like,
But you really be out here retweeting everything, homie.
Hey, listen, gotta get famous somehow. If it's not for my.
Thank you for putting some respect.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, go click on that Cut 4 tweet.
This?
No, down. There we go. That was the tweet I was talking about. This is back in 2017.
How do you report for slander?
Go back before we get.
Mark Sanders' retirement turnovers will never be the same. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he, for his career, has more interceptions than he does touchdowns.
Oh yeah, because at the end of his career, people would pick him up just to like have a backup. He'd come in and throw a couple interceptions. That'd be it.
Yep.
You scroll down. Yeah, Robinson Cano is exciting, and you're almost there, I think, because like I. Where the fuck? Wait. Did I fuck up? Oh. Oh, here we go. Congrats on retirement.
Career highlights are the line of that lineman's ass.
There's one other I tweeted about, like mediocrity for some team. Oh, yep. Oh, there we go. Nick. After World's Most Valuable Sports Teams came out, the Dallas Cowboys still being ridiculously valued despite not being really all that good. Nick's up worth all that money for being constant disappointments. Surprised the Mets aren't up there. Think it's a pretty good take, in my opinion. Of course, and that's really about the most interesting. Oh, basketball. Golden State just extended someone.
Are we making the transition?
I think it's time to transition because it's 3:50 in the morning. I have to get my teeth pulled tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, have fun with that one, my guy. Honestly, just have fun with that.
Come on, wisdom teeth out. Can't wait for that.
So, do I go on a rant? Do we start with the LeBron rant? Do we need to just talk about the slander that took place?
This is where I sit back and let you do your thing. This is.
Let's discuss some slander that took place on the King. So since this news dropped, there's been a lot of like backtracking that went on. But you see, I want to find.
Oh yeah, Draymond Green. That's who the Warriors extended.
Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know David Griffin, the GM of the Cavs back when LeBron played for them. There you go. This is what I'm looking for. I was miserable rebuilding around LeBron. Now, I took the time. I listened to what he was trying to say. I understand what he was trying to say. However, if you were going to talk shit on the guy who has run the NBA for the past 10 years, you better be damn sure you know what you're saying, and you better pick your words very carefully. He was miserable building around LeBron. I don't want to hear any of those comments after that man dragged that team not only to a finals comeback win, because obviously he had, Kyrie and everything, so that wasn't all him. But he dragged a otherwise sorry Cavs team to the NBA Finals against that
Multiple
monstrosity
times.
of a Golden State Warriors team. And they should have won Game 1 if J.R. Smith had a brain cell in his head. So, if you're going to talk shit on somebody who gave his heart and soul to that city the way that LeBron did, you better be damn careful what you're going to come out and say. Because, yeah, sure, maybe he's not the easiest to build around. Maybe he is. Maybe he is a little bit of a diva behind the scenes. The only people that know are LeBron and the people that work with him. However, he was in Miami with Pat Riley, and Pat Riley doesn't take shit from nobody. And you want to know what you didn't hear from Pat Riley when LeBron left? That he was miserable trying to build around LeBron. Because you know what? You earn a certain amount of respect when you play as well as LeBron has. And he went back at the tail end of his prime, at the height of his powers. He could have went to any team in the league. Okay, he's ruined my vibe.
No. Whoops.
He could have went to any team in the league, turned them into a contender, and, given them pretty much just the same amount of chances as the Cavs did to win a championship. Where did he go? Nowhere. He went home. And he dragged that sorry-ass team to the finals 4 years in a row. The first year he did it, almost pulled it out with a hurt Kevin Love and a hurt Kyrie. Then, obviously, they had that fantastic comeback.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, Matt.
I don't even know what that sounds like for you, but I'm so sorry because I can't imagine it sounds very good.
It does not at all. But so then obviously they had that great comeback in 2016, 3-1. We don't need to get into all of that. That wasn't all LeBron, although
Oh
for
my
fuck's
God.
sake.
This thing is like so sensitive.
You're ruining my flow here.
The way my fucking aces are made. Jesus.
Anyway, back at it again. 3-1 comeback, all that. Yeah, that's all well and good. But Kyrie leaves. First of all, Kyrie quits on the team, and they're still in the finals. He completely quit on that team. He was done. He wasn't talking to anybody. If you read the reports, he wasn't speaking to his teammates throughout the whole playoffs, and they were still in the finals. That just speaks to kind of how good that team just was in terms of skill level. However, Kyrie leaves, and they traded him for Isaiah Thomas, who was supposed to be almost his equal. And Isaiah Thomas played less than 15 games for them, I think, before he was traded. And he was turned basically into Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, and maybe one other guy that I can't remember off the top of my head. But he was basically turned into nothing. They basically just straight up lost Kyrie. And guess who was still in the NBA Finals when it was all said and done? LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And once again, if J.R. Smith had a single brain cell in his mind, they would have went up 1-0 against that Golden State Warriors team. And we don't need to discuss who was on that Golden State Warriors team. So, somebody that gave the city that much, you need to be careful how you speak that man's name. He should be getting a statue or just built all around the city. That man should have nothing but praise heaped on him by the city of Cleveland. He broke the city's drought of 80 years or something stupid like that. And this is how they repay him, but they're going to talk slander on him. Because I don't know if you remember, because you're not really a big basketball fan. When LeBron left for Miami, the first time that he left Cleveland, he got completely trashed by the owner. And then he still went back to the team. Because he wanted to bring a title to his hometown. And you know what? When somebody's as good as he is for as long as he is and brings to the city what he did, even if he was a little bit of a diva, you don't ever bring that to the media. I'm sorry, you don't. You have to be careful on what you speak on when you see something like that. Now, he did come back and say he was talking about the media scrutiny, not about LeBron specifically. But
And that's a fucking lie. No, let me just say that's a fucking lie. You're saying because he then goes on to say I don't think he has any will to win for the Lakers because after he won he didn't care anymore. Like that's like the guy's just backtracking for the sake of fucking backtracking. Now, I can understand Cleveland fans being upset with LeBron for leaving. The fact is, the man's like taking out their chance of ever winning, like for a long time, which I can't. You can't blame him for. The fact is, he's dragged a fucking shitty ass team to the playoffs 4 times in a row, and to the championship 4 times in a row. 4 more times. Like, look, I'm gonna say 3 more times than they really deserved.
yeah, I would say the year that Kevin Love went down with an injury, he had his arm pulled out of his socket in like the first round by the Celtics. That was a year that they probably shouldn't have been there. The year that they won it, they should have been there.
No, yeah,
The year
yeah.
after, with Kyrie quitting on the team like that, they probably shouldn't have been there, and they certainly shouldn't have been there 2 years ago. Certainly.
No, yeah, like there was that was the most predictable NBA final that you could have ever had. Is like the
And
most
again,
boring,
and
projected,
again,
obvious.
they should have won Game 1. Let's be very clear. George Hill misses a free throw. J.R. Smith gets the rebound, and what does he do? Dribble the clock out like a fucking idiot. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you weren't watching it, but you remember that GIF that you sent me of LeBron?
No, yeah, I know that was from that. I know,
Yeah.
I know.
J.R. Smith, dumbass. I'm not going to look it up because it's just going to get me even more heated than I already am. But he puts that back up, and that's 2 points. That's the game over. He gets that to LeBron. If LeBron can do something, that could also be game over. So, whatever. That doesn't matter. Let's just talk about for a second. That year that he made that playoff run, and we're not going to talk on this forever. I'm just a LeBron fan over here standing up for my guy. But so that year that they lost that game, they had a grueling 7-game series against the Pacers that they pulled out. Thanks in large part to Kevin Love going off in Game 7. And then everybody was like, "Oh, it's over for them. They're going against the Raptors. It's the Raptors year. They don't have Kyrie. They can't stand up." And what do? Completely torch the Raptors, sweep them. LeBron had unbelievable game-clinching shots that whole series. He couldn't miss. I think it was in the third quarter of game 3 maybe, where he had his fader working and he just couldn't miss. So I don't want to hear about how he won that one championship and then didn't have a will to win. He did everything in his power to win as much as he could for that team. He may have given up in the finals because if he couldn't win game 1 with the way that he played and the way that the team played, he wasn't going to win any games. However, to say that he didn't care about winning is some horse shit, and he deserves to not get another NBA job because of that. And that's my hot take.
Holy shit!
Fire David Griffin, never allow him back in an NBA circle again. That's some bullshit. Because here's the thing,
Like,
it's a
listen, I
bad
got,
luck. Go ahead.
I can understand being hard to build. First of all, it's not fucking hard to build. Yeah, it's hard because LeBron is ridiculously ball dominant. You want to surround him with people that are going to compliment him. I understand that can be kind of difficult, but the fact is, you're building around the best player in the league. That you're not struggling there. It wasn't about noise because you didn't make it about noise. You made it about him, the person. And then, you just basically take everything you said and walk it back as, ooh, whoops, my bad. You didn't frame it poorly. You framed it how you wanted to, thinking everyone's going to get on the LeBron hate train they tend to get on every once in a while. Everyone's like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, he was literally quoted at. I'm pretty sure he was quoted as saying that LeBron gets all the praise but never gets any of the blame. And to an extent, that is true. But look at the team that guy was on. To an extent, that was true, but to an extent, that was deserved. That team, if you remove LeBron James from that roster and run it back, they are not. They are a top 3 worst team in the league. You want to know how we know that? Because where were they this year? It's pretty much the same roster. They really didn't move that many pieces. And where are they? top 3 worst records in the league. I don't want to hear about, oh, he doesn't receive enough of the blame when things go wrong. He's the only reason that team was relevant. So, you know, I think it's honestly a bad look for the Pelicans. I mean, they're having one of their executives come out and talk trash on, even though he's not he's skill wise, he didn't show that he was still the best player this year. I'm not gonna say his reign is
Well,
over.
he's injured and he's old. Like,
Exactly. I'm not gonna come out and claim that his reign is over. I'm gonna kind of hold out judgment and see if, this man could very easily come back angry next year and put up, ridiculous numbers. You never know. Um, but I would say he definitely did not show like he did not play like he was the best player in the league this year, so I'm not going to give him that. However, he's still probably the most notable athlete based in the United States. The only I mean, obviously you can't compete with Messi or Ronaldo just because they're the reach of soccer versus the reach of basketball. But LeBron James is that guy. When you think basketball, he's the face of the organization of basketball. He's not the face of the Lakers. He's the face of basketball. So, to be coming out for the New Orleans Pelicans, if I'm the owner of the New Orleans Pelicans and my executive VP has come out and is talking trash on the player that has run the league for the past 10 years, we and him are having some serious words. But
yeah, like listen, like you can see, like you can't plan beyond next year, coaching in the NBA where stars call the shots. I understand that fucking perspective, but he wasn't talking about that. That was not what it was about. The fact is, Kyrie had his temper tantrum and demanded to be traded because boohoo, I won a championship. Now I want to, I want to go be a diva.
he wanted his own team, and to an extent I get it because he was up and coming, and LeBron. It was always going to be LeBron's team, but. I don't think that team had. The way that team was constructed, I don't see how they get past that Warriors team, just because of what that Warriors team represented, realistically.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from that before I fall further down the rabbit hole. Draymond Green got that new extension, so that's pretty cool. Zion signs with Jordan. That's notable because Jordan really hasn't had like the notable of late. They really haven't had the notable signees, but
it's funny on CC's podcast R2C2, not undisputed. I don't know what the secondary word is. Uninterrupted. He always finds a way to throw in there every single episode that I've listened to, being on Jordan, being a Jordan athlete. Fucking just throwing it out there. It's like, dude, you're like 39. Like, and you're a pitcher. You're a baseball player. You're not. You don't wear these sneakers to go play basketball. You're wearing fucking cleats. You're not Clint Frazier bringing out a new pair of fucking cleats every day.
they're starting to talk about the schedule. It's not all out yet, but I wonder if they've put it like on the actual schedule or not. Rumor has it that Lakers Clippers are going to headline Christmas Day.
They are.
Yeah, it's not officially scheduled yet, but that's what the rumor is right now, is that they're going to headline Christmas Day. So that'll be interesting. We were talking about this, I think, a couple like in the first podcast. We could legitimately see Lakers Clippers in the Western Conference Finals next year.
No, yeah, it's very possible because they both have ridiculously strong teams. And let's see, there you go. The people who made it, who doesn't make it this year? The OKC Thunder.
Thunder
the
definitely
Spurs.
don't. The Spurs will be borderline. I mean, even if it's just the Rockets. I mean, even if it's just that the Thunder drop out and the Lakers move in. I mean, the seeding. I'm not gonna say that the seeding doesn't matter, but I am gonna say that it really, as long as you're above the 7 seed, I'd say it doesn't matter the most. I mean, we've seen LeBron run to the finals from the 5 seed to 4 seed. It didn't really matter in the East, and obviously the West is a lot harder. But once you get to the playoffs, baby, and it's just a 7 game just war, you can never really tell.
Mm.
So I'm hoping. I mean, I wish this was like 2K.
With the
We could
Pel-
turn into resolve.
with the Pelicans, because they're gonna have a much better team this year round. Like, do you think they break through into the playoffs this year? Or do you think it's gonna be a building year for them?
I think they're still too young. I don't see which of these teams they're better than. I mean, if you just take out the Kings from the Lakers and then everybody else that's in the playoffs, I don't know who they're better than.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the obvious attack. Oh well, the Warriors lost Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson's gonna be hurt. Well, they still got Steph Curry. They've still got a lot of those role players, and they just got
That's the thing.
D'Angelo
I feel like it's
Russell.
so damn disrespectful. Not like I'm a huge Steph Curry fan, but it's like so beyond dumb to me because like people just I agree. Golden State's not going to be nearly as good as it was this year, but to, just immediately count them out because they don't have KD and they don't have Klay Thompson. Like you're forgetting how good fucking Steph Curry can be.
They finally got
You're
themselves
forgetting.
a big man. They got Willie Cauley signed, 7 feet tall. You got Steph Curry out there, who was the unanimous MVP not like 3 or 4 years ago. Draymond Green, obviously, as long as he stays healthy, and then they've got this young gun in D'Angelo Russell, who he's not the same Robin to Steph Curry's Batman as Klay Thompson was, but he could still shoot that thing. You know what I'm saying? He could still go out there and
They had a
spot
really
up.
great season last year. There's no reason why he can't do the same here.
Absolutely. And they were trending old for so many years, and they've started to get younger again. Guys like Glenn Robinson and um, Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney and some of these guys have been on the roster before, but expect them to get bigger minutes now and continue to develop. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But, you know, are the Pelicans as presently constructed better than that team? I mean, that team isn't the number 1 seed in the conference anymore, but do they drop out of the playoffs? I don't know. I would say I would find a hard time saying that they are. And then the Spurs, it's really easy to say, oh well, who do the Spurs have? Well, they still have DeMar DeRozan, and their starting point guard was hurt all year, and they were still in the playoffs. DeJounte Murray is a stud, and he was hurt all year. So, who really even knows what to expect from this team? And with Greg Popovich at the helm, plus they've still got LaMarcus Aldridge, they've still got Rudy Gay and DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, that team's, you can't sleep on that team. That team could do some damage if you let them. So, the Pelicans, I think, still probably too young. I say,
And that's another thing. The Spurs last year, after Kawhi left, the people were I remember on ESPN there's lots of articles saying the Spurs dynasty is over. This is where they stop making the playoffs. They're not gonna make the playoffs next year, and they still made the playoffs anyway in a much harder division.
I mean, so it was really easy to count off the Spurs last year because they didn't have that one headline star. In a conference that was full of them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, no one could really predict what was going to happen with the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers were on fire the first half of the season. But the Western Conference is just so deep. I mean, okay, not all these teams are going to make the playoffs, but last season, I would argue that there was legitimately 11 playoff caliber teams. And when I say playoff caliber, I mean not all of them made the playoffs, but I would argue that if they made the playoffs, with the exception of the Warriors, they could have given anybody else that was in the playoffs a run for their money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Kings were a solid young team last year. Look for them to make a jump this year. Other than the Warriors, who could they not have given some trouble? I mean, obviously their record shows that okay, they're young, they're developing, yada yada yada. But you know, that team when there was a stretch in the middle of the season when they put that shit together, and they looked like they were going to be dangerous trying to sneak into the playoffs. If I'm somebody like the Nuggets, I don't want to play them. You kidding me? And the Nuggets are the second seed. The Nuggets, I would argue, are a pretty weak second seed overall, but they were the second seed. I would say that the Kings are not necessarily a risk to them, but you can't overlook them either. You know, if you're playing the Suns, whatever. You're playing the Mavericks last year, whatever. The Grizzlies, whatever. But and then obviously the Lakers had a horrid season. But whenever you got somebody with the name of LeBron James with number 23 on his back, you don't want to see him in a 7-game series because that man could just get in his bag of tricks. So, and then everybody's sleeping on that. I mean, okay, the Timberwolves had a really terrible season. Everybody's still waiting for them. Every year you hear about, oh, they're going to make that next step. They're going to take that next step. If Andrew Wiggins can learn, Andrew Wiggins just needs to grow up, and when he does that, this team is going to be dangerous because Karl Anthony Towns is there. He's ready. He's already one of the best big men in the league. If Andrew Wiggins can figure his shit out, this team could be dangerous. There's no reason why they couldn't be. And keep in mind, in the beginning of the season, this team had Jimmy Butler on it, so I think they did need to get him out of there. I think he was just not the right ego fit, I guess, for that team. But I'm also interested to see. No one's talking about it. The Mavericks. I'm interested to see how the Mavericks do next year. Wow. I just realized that with Boban signing, they may have the tallest team in the league. Look at this. 6'11", 7'3", 7'2", 7'3", 6'11".
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, that's not why I came here. Luka Doncic came in and just ran the league as a rookie last year, and now you're giving him one of the better not stretch fours, but what are we calling Kristaps? He's a 4/5 that can just shoot the shit out of the ball. Is that how we're gonna classify him?
I guess.
You're basically taking a guy who is already almost a star. Like, I would say he was a star trending towards superstar by the end of the season. And I know that's a lot to put on a rookie, but he was lighting the league up. He did not look like he was outclassed at all. So, and then you're just going to give him a 7'3" unicorn of a man that could just pull up from anywhere? I mean, before Kristaps got hurt 2 years ago, he was carrying the Knicks to the playoffs before he got hurt. So that team, I think, could be dangerous. I think that pick and roll is going to be lethal because Luka Doncic he's got such good handles, and then you've got a guy who's 7'3" that can roll to the rim and pretty much dunk standing up, or swing out to the 3-point line and drain anything. I mean, that's going to be a disgusting pick and roll, pick and pop kind of combo. One thing that I think that this team notably is missing, which they did try to fix, it looks like, they're going to need some perimeter shooting, man. They've got all that size down low. I mean, they've got guys like Seth Curry, JJ Barea, but they don't. Last year, floor spacing was an issue, at least from what I saw. Maybe the stats don't necessarily reflect that, but it seemed to me. Look at that. As a rookie, this man came in and averaged 21, 8, and 6 with a steal. He led his team as a rookie in 4 categories. You know how ridiculous that is?
I'm gonna take pretty ridiculous.
So, I'm glad to see we've got a basketball fan in the building.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see how those. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm interested to see how those two mesh together. In the East, I just CBA to talk about the East, to be honest. The East was already weak, and then Kawhi went, fuck it. Let me go to the Clippers with Paul George for a second.
I mean, I think it's going to be Bucks and 76ers fighting to the top. Celtics to get their heads out of their own asses and get up there.
They lost Kyrie,
I think Nets are going to be up a space or two, making better than 42 and 40, making the playoffs. I really don't.
I think there's really only 2 teams that can legitimately make the finals next year from the East. And it's the Bucks and the 76ers.
Bucks and 76ers. Yeah.
I don't think there's another team that exists that has a prayer.
Nets, baby.
This season is one of the major arguments for there being just the top 16 teams make the playoffs instead of 8 from each conference.
Yeah, the conference system's kind of getting dumb.
Although, my response to that is, it literally wouldn't have changed anything because even though we would all agree that the Kings are better than the Hornets, they have the same record because the teams in the East play the teams in the East more often, so they're getting wins against shittier teams. So there would have to be some kind of other metric or some other way to get the teams to play better competition more frequently. Otherwise, that system's not going to work either. I mean, if you look at this, the 8th seed in this conference was 48 and 34, but then the 9th seed was 39 and 43. 39 and 43 was also the 9th seed in the East, so it wouldn't have changed anything.
But the 8th seed in the East broke even at 41 and 41.
Yeah, there's just such a steep drop off. I would say from the Pacers up were really, really solid teams. The Nets were kind of in a league on their own in the sense where that they were a good team trending towards really, really solid, but they really...
It's their first year of being relevant in how many years?
Exactly.
It wasn't like they became relevant because they added a bunch of veterans. They became relevant because it took a lot of years of fucking dog shit.
Yeah, and so, and then, it's interesting to see how will the Magic, I don't know how the hell the Magic did not need to be in the playoffs. The Pistons, I thought were going to be better than they were, honestly. And they just they signed Derrick Rose, right? That was their, big free agency signing, was they got Derrick Rose, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So,
updated.
I saw Blake Griffin the other day on Instagram. I'll never find it again, so I'm not going to bother going to Instagram, but his three's looking wet, bro. If he can...
His 3 is looking... Yeah. You don't want a dry 3, you know?
You're such... We have to teach you basketball lingo, homie. I'm met with dead silence.
One day it'll be a project. Maybe not at 4:20 in the morning.
Hey, blaze it. All right. Anyway,
that was disgusting.
Your face is disgusting.
Okay, listen. Listen. Not even worth my time.
Wow. I guess it'd be like that. Yeah, we're not. I just CBA to talk about the East, so we're gonna call that one a wrap on basketball. I do want to peep into NFL, not for very long, just for a few minutes. Just because camps are starting to get going now, and you're starting to see a little bit more reports. Like a lot more injuries are starting to happen.
Oh my God, the Giants!
Yeah, rip the Giants, man.
The Giants. Let's see. Shepard. Was it Shepard who tore his ACL? Shepard who dislocated his finger.
As soon as it allows me, I don't. This site's being weird right now. I don't know why.
Golden Tate's been suspended for 4 games for a fertility drug.
Really? That's what it was? I saw he violated it. I didn't see what the drug was.
Yeah, it was a testosterone drug that he got prescribed to him from a doctor because him and his wife are trying to have girlfriend are trying to have a baby. And so
injuries, not roster. My bad. All these questionable ones don't really matter. Shepard, he has a splint on his thumb. That'll be fine. So
yeah, he'll be fine. But let's see.
I do remember what you're talking about. There was somebody that like ripped their knee apart, although it's not.
In the same thing as Sterling Shepard, someone tore their ACL, and then the next day Golden Tate got suspended. Where the fuck is it?
Huh. This is weird. Well, rip the NFL side of ESPN. They're not on their shit. What is this? Anyway, um, yeah. So they're starting up camps and stuff like that. So this is when you'll start to see, some of the teams working together for the first time. OBJ and Baker Mayfield out in Cleveland. We'll have to see how that works together. Did you see this, by the way?
No.
I'm not gonna show the whole thing. If it,
Hey yo.
I'm gonna mute this. But pretty much, they saw him rolling down in Cleveland, and so they rolled down. He rolled down his window, and he got stopped, got out of the car, signed the license plate. It says OB Junior 13 with a Browns thing, and so he signed it in the middle of the road.
I respect that. That guy's gonna have his license plate ripped out of his car.
We're not talking about that, okay? We're keeping this podcast on the up and up.
Oh yeah. By the way, Tom Brady getting paid.
I don't know what's good with that, man. That man needs to retire, bro.
I mean,
you know the
as long as he
saying.
could still.
You know the saying that if you don't die a hero, you'll live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's gonna be him.
Nah, Patriots fans are too obsessed with him. He'll never be the villain to them.
Well, I know,
Well,
but what I mean by saying that is there will come a day when he just isn't Tom Brady anymore, and it's coming fast. And if he doesn't retire soon, I'm afraid that we're not gonna remember him as
nah.
Tom. Like you'll remember him as Tom Brady, but your last memory of him won't be like everybody knows who Michael Jordan was, but their last memory of him was him limping around in a Wizards uniform.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he was like so good for so long and did so much for the Patriots, franchise. The fact is the guy. There's a beat reporter for the Patriots that just said, it's really just a pay raise, and then, oh god, like it's like a big maybe on the year after.
So other than that, nothing super huge really has happened in
He's
recent.
the Adam Vinatieri quarterback. Is Adam Vinatieri retired yet, or he's still playing?
No, he's still playing. His old ass still playing.
I respect that.
Him and Tom Brady are gonna turn to dust at the same time. Just gonna be mid play and just disappear.
He's gonna miss like one field goal and then he's gonna get cut.
That's what happened to the back in so Miracle at the Meadowlands, Eagles Giants, a punter, he was told kick the ball out of bounds, don't let Deshaun Jackson return it, and he allowed Deshaun Jackson to return it, and he was cut like the next day. They're projecting the. Here, I want to get a.
What was it? Did Ryan sign a kicker or draft a kicker in his first round draft, or was
Not
it like
his first round, but way too early. I think it was the
I
fifth
think it
or
was like a
sixth
third
round.
round or
It's
something.
like fifth or sixth round, he signed a kicker, which is really early.
No, it was the same. It was the same round as whatever that commercial was. Don't let your mouse batteries die and end up auto drafting a kicker in the sixth round or something.
Idiot. I just can't be asked, bro. That kid
Hey,
is
moving on.
extra. I'm interested to see what your reaction to these projections are, because I know you're not necessarily as big of a football fan as I am. I'm interested to see what you have to say about these. The Chiefs, the Saints, the Rams, the Patriots, all being projected to win 10 plus games.
Chiefs, yes, Patrick Mahomes is the God King of
Keep in
Kansas
mind,
City.
no Kareem Hunt, so their running back, their running game is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but the Tyreek Hill is still such a dominant force. I mean, their running game isn't as strong, but I mean, they signed players to like you can read it right there. They signed players to improve their defense, which is the biggest lacking thing, and they had still had such a potent offense regardless of Kareem Hunt. I just think I think that's a fair rating. I think the Saints have a fair rating because the fact is Drew Brees just fucking will continue to.
Also getting old, by the way. He's like 35
Yeah, he's
or
getting old, but
38.
he's still. I think he's 38. He's getting old, but the fact is he continues to put up like the same numbers every year with like really good passing. Oh, he's 40. But regardless, I think he's just too good to suddenly fall apart.
In the next like 5 years or so, we're gonna see a face change, like a complete change in the quarterback position.
It's weird
Aaron
because I've seen
Rodgers,
the same
Tom
guys for
Brady,
so
Drew
long.
Brees, Ben Roethlisberger.
Captain Fat Fuck.
Okay, relax on that. But Aaron Rodgers,
Fuck,
Tom Brady, Ben
fuck Ben
Roethlisberger,
Roethlisberger.
and Drew Brees are 4 of the top 10, 7, 10, somewhere in there, quarterbacks in the league, all going to be either retired or retiring within the next 5 years or so. So
If you look at his stats, like the number of yards he thrown is less, but he threw more touchdowns and less interceptions.
well, yeah,
A
and
higher passer rating.
their running game last year was sickening. Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram.
And also you got Michael Thomas, catching everything that gets thrown at him. Rams, not surprising because Rams have been good the last 2 years. So
The Patriots, you obviously knew that had to happen.
Patriots, I don't know. I mean, yeah, but like how many? Like the past 2 years, they started off 0-2 to start it, and then started getting good again. I've got no idea. The Patriots can either be really good or really bad. It really depends on how the team rides or dies with Tom Brady. Chargers, I think we'll have. Okay, you got to stop scrolling so much.
Well, I didn't think you wanted to go
Colts,
team by team. That's my
Colts, I
bad.
think is fair. Chargers, I think
I think this
a
is
little
high for the
underrated.
Colts, honestly. 9
The
wins.
But the Colts started off terribly. I think they would have easily had more wins last year if they played the way they played for the second half of the season. I don't know.
The Chargers looked good last year. I think that's a little insulting that they're
Chargers looked
projected
good
less
last
than
year.
9 wins.
I feel like. I mean, oh God, who's their quarterback? Can't think of his name.
Phil Rivers.
Phil Rivers, always overlooked, always better than people want to give him credit for. And it's just gonna be another year where the Chargers are like they're less popular team in LA. They're playing in a soccer stadium.
Okay, but let's just talk about the real travesty. This Bears team. Fucking filthy defensively last year. Arguably top 3 team in football. Arguably, I mean, to be fair, they did lose to the Eagles in the wild card round, but that was also on some bullshit. So if Khalil Mack has another season like he had last year, it might be over.
So long as Khalil Mack continues to be Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack is a stud.
Moving on. Texans, I mean, the Texans are going to probably do what they did the last 2 years, start off hot, fall apart. Or start off like treading water and then start to get hot, and it's not going to matter when they start to get hot. Falcons, I don't know. The Falcons have been kind of shit the last
I
couple
don't
of
know
years.
how that's way too high for the Falcons in my opinion.
I think so too. Eagles, fuck the Eagles, moving on.
Wow, that's a bit rude. I think that's low for the Vikings, man, honestly.
Yeah, the biggest problem with the Vikings is that Kirk Cousins is overpaid and overrated. You can't they're gonna win all their games against bad teams, and then they're gonna do what they did last year and lose all their games against any team that's over 500.
Yeah, fair.
The guy's got like 4 career wins against teams over 500. It's ridiculous. Packers, I don't make any assumptions about the Packers.
You never
Once
know.
again,
Depends
that's
on
the
what
team that
Aaron Rodgers
rides or
can get, to
dies
be
with Aaron
honest.
Rodgers.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with the new coach or new system over there now.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy needs to go a long time ago. It'll be
It's been
interesting to
time.
see.
It's been time. The Titans are
Titans,
a complete mystery.
Titans have been treading water for the past couple seasons.
Seahawks. I
So
think the Seahawks are a better team than they're given credit for.
yeah,
Browns more than 50% chance to make the playoffs.
I think the Browns make the playoffs. I think the Browns are a very good team this year.
They have Kareem Hunt.
They have Kareem Hunt. They have Odell Beckham Jr. I really think they would have been close to the playoffs last year if it wasn't for the fact that they didn't fire their the whatever the joke of a coach's name they had for
I don't remember.
whatever the hell. I don't remember his name. The guy with the 3 career wins with that team.
The Steelers. Let's
Like,
just move past the Steelers. Moving on.
we don't need to talk about the Steelers.
Ravens. We all know what they're about. Jaguars with Nick Foles. I don't think he can replicate what he did in Philly, but they're hoping that he can. Let's not talk about the Cowboys because that's always a question mark. I don't think there's anything really important to talk about, down the list, except for the Jets are being slandered, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, they're going to be much better this year. I don't think they're going to be that
I mean, I think the
Right.
projected wins is right, but if this is a power rankings, I don't think they're the sixth
Oh no,
worst team
I
in the
don't
league.
understand how they have the power rankings. Oh, poor Giants.
We'll get there. I think they're better than the Bucks. I think they're better than the Lions. I think they're definitely better than the Raiders. Better than the Broncos, in my opinion.
Hey.
I don't know. I think they should be like somewhere up in the low 20s, not 26.
I have no idea how I decided the power rankings when they have, higher projected win totals. I think it should be based off projected wins because here's it makes no sense.
Yeah, I have no idea. The Bills will be interesting. They got a young team. Moving up.
We don't even need to talk about it.
Do we touch on it? Or do we pretend like it didn't happen?
We just pretend it didn't happen. The Giants aren't playing this year. Like Eli
Needs
Manning
to be fired.
Eli Manning should have retired after his last Super Bowl.
What's the dynamic?
And that should have been the end of it.
This is ridiculous, bro.
Your stats don't look that bad, actually.
What?
Your stats don't look miserable. I mean, the interceptions is way too high, but...
His stats don't look miserable, but...
Oh, it doesn't change the fact that he can't do anything in a clutch situation.
So this is what I'll say on Eli Manning. Historically, he's very important to the team. I get all of that. Let's look at something for a second. Okay, it's not... I want to pull up Saquon Barkley stats. How do I accomplish that? Because I want to show you how many receiving yards that Saquon Barkley had out of the backfield. Because that 4,300 yards passing that Eli Manning had, I want you to see how many of them were to Saquon Barkley. Oh, that's rushing. 721 yards receiving from your running back out of the backfield. That is... And most of Odell Beckham's, by the way, slants. I'm sorry. He can't throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field with any accuracy whatsoever. I watched him on multiple occasions. Odell Beckham beat his man downfield and Eli Manning woefully underthrow him by a good 10 or 15 yards. It's ridiculous. He's got no arm left, and he should not be... He absolutely can be a serviceable quarterback for a team that wants to play within the first 15 yards. But when you have somebody with Odell Beckham's speed and ability to catch the football in any circumstances, you have to have somebody that can get him the ball. The most effective play I watched them run all year was a flea flicker in which Odell Beckham hit Saquon Barkley down the sideline for like a 50-yard touchdown.
Uh,
The only play, or one of the only plays all season in which Eli Manning didn't touch the football was the most effective play that they had all season.
it's all right. The Giants have their God King Nate Jones to save them.
Well, and this is the scary part. Who the fuck is coming in after him? I didn't mean to click that.
Nate Jones.
Okay, relax. Even if Nate Jones is the guy, he's.
Not even joke. No, but that's serious.
Don't you mean Daniel
that's who they
Jones?
have. That's his name? That was Nate Jones. Okay. It's Daniel
He's
Jones.
22 and he's a rookie, bro. How long until he's ready to play?
Well,
He's coming from Duke, bro. He didn't even really play against good football teams.
no. Yeah, it's like, I mean, that was like the biggest draft scandals when he was fucking drafted in the first round.
Not only in the first round, the 6th pick.
The Giants are literally making moves like the fucking Jets.
And their wide receiver core went from one of the best in the league to incredibly mediocre overnight.
Yeah. At least Sterling Shepard will be fine. Should be fine to start the season, but like Jesus Christ.
They went from Odell Beckham plus Sterling Shepard, and they had signed Golden Tate and all of these things, and then suddenly you look up and Golden Tate is suspended, and somebody else tore his ACL, and you've got Sterling Shepard getting banged up. Odell Beckham's missing from the roster, so. I don't know. It's just gonna be a painful year. If anybody out there is a
We'd
Giants
talk
fan,
about Odell Beckham more, but we've been going on for quite a while.
yeah, we're about to be done. I was just saying, anybody out there who's a Giants fan, it's going to be a very painful year for you guys, and I apologize in advance.
It is what it is. It is going to be what it has been. Eli has fun teaching the young guys. Yeah, because he wishes it was him. We don't. We can just. Okay, moving on.
5-11.
Move on.
I think that's it for today. Is just 5-11, and that's how we're just gonna end it off.
All right.
If you made it to the end, comment 5-11 down below.
Yeah, you could do the rambling for an hour and 40 minutes, I think it's been.
Relax, hour 27. I was watching my timer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, come on now.
Okay, good shit, good shit.
You what's the sign off gonna be today? You gonna say fuck the Red Sox again? Huh? His microphone.
What?
I asked how you were gonna sign off today. Were you gonna tell them you're gonna say fuck the Red Sox again?
No, they've just been fucked.
They've been
good,
fucked.
good night. No, yeah, we just finished fucking for 4 games straight. You know, we just, a quick good night, sweep them under the rug.
Yeah, the Yankees
goodbye,
pounded Price. What? All right. Well, come on, you gotta think of something creative
Oh God.
for the send off. Come on, the big old send off.
Rest in peace, Red Sox hopeful. Your playoff chance. You were literally the Red Sox are the equivalent of the 2016 Kansas City Royals, from hero to zero in just one season. That's about as much as I can think of right now.
With that being said, I think that
yeah.
this
I think
has been Blow Up the Team, and we will see you guys next week.